How's everything going on your end?
No, it's alright. I'm just driving to work.
You guys are currently on Nuclear Blast. I believe your last album came from them as well. How did it come to be that you guys wound up with Nuclear Blast? That you guys are still with them? Like, do you guys have a multi-album deal going on?
Yeah, I think we have 3 albums with them. Well, we've been all around. We've been on Roadrunner, we've been on Metal Blade. We were on Central Media for 3 records, together with Listenable Records in Europe at that same time. So, it just, Gerardo, basically from Nuclear Blast offices in California, just showed interest. I guess he knew our time with the Media was coming to an end. So he just kind of he really had interest in the band, as did the label altogether. So, we weighed a lot of options, and we just decided that Nuclear Blast was the way to go. I mean, there seems to be, they're obviously a big label, but at the same time, we know a lot of the people that work there, and we've known them since they've worked at other labels and stuff, and, they pretty much were like, look, this is where you want to be, and we trusted them, and they're really cool people, so, we just decided to make that move, and so far it's been great. They're a big label, but they do have interest in the band, which is like a really good thing for us. In the past, where we were on larger labels, they maybe, it was kind of like the band, but they didn't have a lot of that much interest in them. When we were on Central Media Listenable, Central Media didn't have much interest, but Listenable had a lot of interest, but they were only in Europe, so we really needed to tackle everything worldwide. And and with Nuclear Blast seemed to be the best solution, and so far so good. They've been very supportive, and we really have no complaints.
Do you feel that you guys are sort of like a good fit to Nuclear Blast? I know lately they've been really branching out, signing a lot of bands that are a little more out of their wheelhouse. I've always been a fan of the label, and usually when I see Nuclear Blast, I see more of a melodic kind of group than a straightforward death metal one.
Yeah, I think we fit them fine. They've been fans of the music forever, just as we have. So for us, it's great because, again, they're a very big label, and they have a lot of coverage as far as, the promotion alone that we got through them, just when we signed with them, we noticed a big difference. Before our album even came out, just when we signed to them and they put us up on their site and stuff, we noticed just a lot more exposure, you know what I mean? So
Right.
It's been good in that respect. And again, they're very cool people, both in the U.S. and European office, and so far it's been great, I think this is probably the best situation for us on a label. I think because, we have experience, so we're better at what we do and how we do it and how we approach things, both musically and business-wise. So we kind of see how things are now better than we did back then. And, the label suits as well. So it's just a good time. The timing worked out good.
Actually, I'm just online here, just making sure I didn't miss anything. And I noticed that you and Ross were live on the yesterday in the Nuclear Blast streaming room. How did all that work out for you?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. We've never done that before. That was new for us, so it was a little strange at first. But then, it was cool. We just saw questions coming in, and we just started talking, and going over stuff. So, for us, it's a little weird because we're just sitting there basically talking into the computer. We're not really talking one-on-one with anyone. We're just watching questions come in, and we're answering questions that the label sent us from fans. So it was different, but it was actually cool. We had a good time. We actually ended up staying on there for like an hour and a half because, once we get going, we can freaking blast. So, we just started talking basically to each other about all the different stuff and, coming up with stuff from the questions. And, yeah, it was fun. We had a good time. We would definitely do it again. And I think the fans seem to be into it and having a good time with it. So, yeah, it was cool.
You guys also put out Indoctrine to stream as well as to download. Why did you choose the song Indoctrine off the album to kind of... I think that's the first one that you released as a stream. Why did you choose that one to lead the album with, to promote it?
Well, we didn't, actually. The label did.
Okay, well, why did they choose that one?
Guys at the label were like, oh, you got to do this one, because we were going to do a different one, but they really thought that one would be cool, so we're like, all right, it didn't matter to us, because we feel strongly about all the 10 songs that are on the record, so it was kind of hard for us to choose which ones to put out there,
Right.
you know, as far as what's streaming, what's not, whatever, I mean, or what's available to download, I don't know. They figure that out, you know, and to us, it doesn't matter. I mean, we want the fans to hear the music. We recorded this thing back in, you know, July, August of last year. So for us to finally get it out there, we're more than happy, you know. So I mean, Kingdom of Conspiracy, the first track we kind of let out there, we felt was a strong one, and it became the first track on the record. And Indoctrinate's a cool song, different than that one, but again, very aggressive and a lot of cool parts, dark and moody parts. So, yeah, I mean, whatever one they wanted to put out was fine with us. I think they're all equally as good. So, but yeah, we got a lot of good reactions. Cool, too.
Okay, and you guys recorded at Millbrook Sound Studios in New York again. I think again. Didn't you guys record there once before?
Yeah, we've been recording there since 1998. So,
that's what I thought.
We like working with Paul. He's a great guy, and it's a comfortable situation for us, which is good. And you want that when you're recording. But since Majesty and the K, we also have Zach Lauren doing the mixing and mastering out in California. So once we're done with Paul, we send all the stuff over to Zach, and he does his thing, and then we just, you know, listen as he sends MP3s. We listen to what we need changed, etc. And that's how we do it these days. And you know, from Majesty to K to Providence to this new record, it's been a really good combination. I mean, the production has just gotten so much better every time, and these three releases, I feel, are some of our strongest because the production is so strong, you know, and the music has gotten stronger, so it's we're pretty happy with the way things have been working out.
Have you guys thought about recording elsewhere or having the album mixed and mastered elsewhere?
Not right now. I mean, we're on a good roll. I mean, we've always loved recording with Paul. He's like part of the family now, so, you know, where you record it doesn't really matter, you know, as far as like we're comfortable with Paul. We know we could send it to Zach or whatever. I mean, right now this combination is awesome, so it's been only getting better, you know, with the situation of being working with Paul and Zach doing the mixing and mastering. So, you know, we finally got to a point where we feel like we don't have to worry about how the production is going to sound. It's just a matter of how much better we can make it sound. So I don't think we want to make any moves right now. You know, we're very happy with working with Paul personally and the knowledge that he brings to the table, as well as, you know, what Zach does. So yeah, we're pretty happy with that. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going over a bridge, so there's a chance I might lose you. If I do, I'll call you back.
Okay. Let me just ask you real quick then. I should have asked this before. Do you guys have any plans for any other songs to be released from the album, like a music video or anything like that coming up?
I'm sure we're probably going to do a video. We almost shot one before the tour, but it was just, it wasn't enough time to really plan it out properly. So we're probably going to hold off on that till after we get back from, you know, the festival tour. We're thinking more than likely it'll probably be Kingdom of Conspiracy that we're going to do the video for. So that's where we're at with that right now, but we have to kind of plan it out and get that together because, you know, you don't want to rush something like that.
The album, Kingdom of Conspiracy. I noticed that there's going to be various different versions of it, like a digipack, a slime pack edition or something, various versions of the LP. How much input do you guys have towards the various versions of the album that are coming out?
None really. I mean, like they kind of like, well, the digipack thing. I'm sure any suggestions we have would have been taken into consideration. The fact that if I'm not mistaken, I think it's primarily a digipack. If I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure, but I know the digipack because when we got the layout for the record, I'm pretty sure it was just all digipack, as far as I remember, anyway. But so that's their thing, and the other, the slime pack thing, and the vinyl. I mean, they came up with all that, and I mean, for us, it's cool just the fact that they have a few different versions of it. Just, you know, just for collecting, collector's sake, you know, it's kind of cool. You know, the fact that they would even do that is kind of cool. So yeah, we're happy about it. And I'm sure any suggestions we would have, they would take into consideration, like I said. But you know, we were just more concerned with getting this thing out, and it's been like, even though we recorded it last year, we never had a deadline as far as completion or when we needed the stuff in by. So Zach was working on the project, so the actual final mixes weren't finished till December, and then before we knew it, this tour came up, and then we really had to rush and get the artwork done and get the packaging done. So it was like everything kind of like came together like quickly in the end. So you know, we're happy that they actually had the time to do some extra cool stuff, you know, for the fans as well.
Given the way Immolation sounds, like what format would you suggest the fans grab the album on? I mean, for me, you guys kind of seem more like you would be better heard on a CD than maybe the LP, but I don't know. Maybe you guys think the LP version would be better. I mean, what do you guys think?
I think it's all going to sound, I mean, look, we've been listening, I haven't listened to any other version other than the actual WAV files or MP3s I've been getting, and that's good to me, so no matter what you get, it's going to sound good. I mean, to me, vinyl always has an interesting sound to it. Now, of course, it's digitally recorded and then pressed on the vinyl. I'm sure it'll sound good, if not better, because vinyl always seems to bring out some kind of different quality. But I mean, the vinyl's more like a collector's thing. Like back in the day when we actually recorded analog and then you listen to the vinyl always sounded the best. There's no doubt about it. Like when we go back to our first record, Dawn of Possession, that was all recorded, 2-inch tape, and then all done analog, no digital things, and, nothing really digital involved. And then when you listen, if you listen to what we used to listen to the cassette tapes back then, and CD and vinyl, the vinyl always took it. The vinyl always sounded the best. These days, it's all recorded digitally, so whether or not one's going to sound better than the other, I'm not sure, but, any copy you get is going to sound good. I mean, the production is top-notch, so I think no matter what you listen to it on, it's going to sound good. But I'm a vinyl fan, so I'm always interested in hearing it on vinyl or just having the vinyl just to have, so, but I think anybody, whatever form they get, it's going to, sound good. Hopefully they don't get it on 8-track, though, because then that might sound a little strange.
I've actually always been curious if anybody would actually ever put anything out like that, like an album on 8-track. I don't know. I've always been curious how that would sound.
It would be a good thing if, like, a band I did like a 70s style or something like that to put it out on 8-track, though.
Yeah. Well, I know cassettes are making a huge comeback. I actually just ordered 2 a couple days ago, coming in from Sweden. Was there any talk of the possibility of Kingdom of Conspiracy coming out on tape?
I'm sure it will, because I think only in certain areas, like, if I'm not mistaken, maybe South America and stuff like that, I think they've always been putting stuff out on tape even to this day. Like, there's certain areas, countries that they always, cassettes are always, I guess they still sell fairly well, so they do put it out. If I'm not mistaken, it was South America or something like that. But, yeah, I mean, I don't understand to me, I guess it's also a novelty to have the cassette, but, for me, the vinyl was more the interesting thing because it was so, the artwork was big, everything was big about it, and it was kind of cool, and the sound was usually always better on vinyl. Not that, like I said, I'm not sure if that would make a difference now, but the cassette thing I don't get, but, I mean, I guess, nostalgia is what it is, people like things for different reasons, so, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if they're going to do a cassette version or not, the United States and Europe or not. Again, when they license it out to different companies, like if they have Nuclear Blast Brazil or whatever, sometimes down there or in other countries, they actually produce the cassettes automatically regardless, like I said, they've been doing it all the time. So there's a possibility in a couple of these other countries you might find it, but I doubt that the U.S. is going to mass produce that right now. At least I haven't heard anything about it.
All right. Well, how about just the production and the recording of the album itself? I mean, were there any problems when you guys were in the studio, or did everything just move smoothly like usual?
Everything went pretty smooth. I mean, it's always a little weird for us because we never play the songs together, so we practice and learn all the songs on our own. Because Steve lives in Ohio and Bill lives in Florida, and me and Ross live in New York, so I write the stuff on the computer, I send it out to the guys, and everybody learns it, and then, whatever, like Steve will do his own thing or whatever, manipulate stuff on the drums, change things up, and get his parts down. But we never sit there and practice in a room and play the new songs. I mean, the first time we're playing any of these new songs, for instance, like this weekend we're playing in Holland, we're doing the Neurotic Death Fest, the 10th anniversary of the Neurotic Death Fest, and there's a couple of new songs on this record that we're going to play for the first time at all. Like, we've never played them together at all for rehearsal or anything. So it's always strange, But that being said, when we get in the studio, things actually go relatively smoothly. Steve knows what he has to do. He knows the songs, so he practices and plays them to the click track and the scratch guitar track that I make on the computer. And then once his parts are done, we do our parts on top of them, and then it all comes together, So it's not too bad. I mean, there's always stress in the studio when you're just trying to get your best performances and stuff like that. So that's always not so much a problem, but it is what it is. There's always a little bit of stress in there. trying to get stuff done on time and get it done your best, you know. But we didn't really have any major issues. I think the only problem that almost surfaced was that we were having a really big storm here in our area in New York, and there were a lot of big storms going on at that time, and they were expecting tornadoes and all sorts of crazy weather. And up in Millbrook, they're very notorious for losing power very quickly up there. So we thought we might lose power for a couple of days, or who knows, it could have shut down the whole recording process if it was really bad. So luckily, you know, we kind of got past that. So that was not the only small factor that almost killed everything. But other than that, everything went pretty smooth.
You guys restricted in the amount of time that you had within the studio? Like, if you did wind up losing power, that was like those many hours that you would lose entirely and you can't get back? Like, you had to be done on a specific day?
Well, we had a lot going on at the time. We basically had just gotten back from a tour in South America. We did like 4 dates in Brazil with, it was us, and Incantation was down there as well. And then we also did a show in Chile before we met up in Brazil. So we just got back from South America, and we had basically a whole summer European run as well as a European tour scheduled after that. So if for some reason the studio went down for because it's been known around here, when the power goes out in certain areas due to a bad storm, like in certain spots, you can lose power for days, you know, like upstate. So if they lost power, forget it, we would have been done. The album, we would have to postpone the album recording for after that tour, which would have been bad because we were already pressed for time as it was, you know what I mean, as far as getting things together on time. So it would have really kind of screwed us up. Normally, yeah, if we lost a couple of days, we would make it up at the end of the session, you know, not a big deal. It's not like Paul would say, okay, well, you had no power for 3 days, too bad you lost those days, you know, it wouldn't work like that. But it's just that our schedule we really couldn't afford to have any breaks, you know what I mean, like any days off. So it kind of worked out really well, because 2 days after we got out of the studio, we were in Europe playing shows, so, you know, it was that tight, so we really couldn't afford to lose any time.
One thing I wanted to ask you, it looks like you guys have some tour dates coming up. I believe starting May 10th until June 12th. Do you guys... Obviously, you're going through North America and you're hitting some areas in Canada. Are you guys ready for this? Are you doing anything to get prepared? Anything special or new?
I'm just trying to practice and get the songs down. It's like, I've been so busy with work, I just got to be able to play these songs, and I'll be all right.
All right.
No, not too much. I mean, we're just happy to be on the tour. Cannibal Corpse, Napalm Death are longtime friends and great bands. So the fact that we're together with those guys, I mean, it's a great package, you know, and we're really happy to be a part of it. And the Decibel team has been great in getting us on there and supporting us on that. So yeah, it's going to be a great tour. We just look forward to getting out there and having a good time, and that's it. You know, it's going to have a good one. It's going to be great. There's not too much you can do. Just practice. And once we're out there, then it all comes together.
Well, you said that the band themselves, like each one of you, seems to be in a different area, which is one thing I was curious on when it came to the going into the studio. I'm just curious, do you find it to be difficult when you hit the road, like having just played all this stuff together for the first time in the studio, or do you find it difficult?
It's not bad. I mean, like we just did it on the 70,000 Tons of Metal. We played two songs off the Providence EP, as well as 4 new songs on that trip that we played, that we've never played together in rehearsal or anything. I mean, we just, you know, the songs were created and done in the studio, but we never played them together as a band at all. So we played them together as a band the first time on the stage, on the boat, you know, on the cruise. So, and it went pretty good. So it's a little challenging, but once you get past that first run, then the rest is tape, you know. I mean, it's just like the shows. You start first couple of shows, you know, you got to kind of work out the kinks a little bit, but you know, we do all right. And then once we get going, then we're pretty much like, you know, we're on fire. Once we get started and we get, you know, warmed up, then we're good. Then it's just all natural. We just go for it, you know. So it's not too bad.
All right. Well, let me touch on the Providence EP real quick. I've heard some horror stories when it comes to the Scion audio visual. Not like it was a bad thing, like Scion AV is bad to deal with, but the simple fact of how rushed the whole thing had to be. What was that situation like? I mean, it was a little over a year from the album you put out. Did you have to rush to put the 5 songs that are on there, or did you already have them ready to go? What was that situation like?
I wrote that song. I was like, what, EP? Okay. And I had to write 5 songs straight up, you know. So it's just like this release. I mean, I kind of had to get this thing done, so I just kept going and writing until we had 10 songs, you know. With that EP, yeah, it came up kind of all of a sudden, and the tour came up right after. Everything was done, like, right one after the other. We did we recorded it, we shot the video, we went on the road. It was like all immediately right after each other. But you know, we work well under pressure, and it's normally the way we work. So, our intentions were to have 5 new songs. We really didn't want to, you know, re-record old songs. We didn't want to do cover songs. We just felt, hey, this is a cool opportunity. It's a great, you know, we saw what Sign was doing, so we said, let's just do it and put out 5 of the best songs we can write right now. For us, it was just like doing a new record, only half as long. So that was the way we went into it, you know. So for me, that release is just as important as any other one, you know. It's 5 songs that we had at that time, and we you know, we got them together. I never really saved stuff from a previous record, you know. It's like a lot of people thought that was stuff that was just like, oh, that's left over from Majesty, but it wasn't. It was like I wrote it specifically for that, and that's just the way it is, you know. And I think that's what keeps each record kind of fresh and interesting, as well as, you know, each record, each release has its own little vibe going on because everything's written at that particular time, you know. So it's kind of a reflection of where we're at that time. So yeah, it was a little. It wasn't any worse than any other recording that we did. I mean, it was a slightly more rushed, but not that much more rushed because we're always in that situation anyway.
Right.
Kind of used to it.
Okay, well, I know my time is running up here. Let me just ask one question, one more quick one. The Providence EP, did that happen to delay Kingdom of Conspiracy being written or being released?
I never think if anything, it bought us more time because at least we got something new out there. You know what I mean? That was important for us to at least get something new out there. Yeah, maybe it delayed it a little bit just because it's like, okay, we just did the EP and then we did the tour and then, you know, that kind of like pushed things back a little bit. But, you know, I mean, it takes us a while to get our act together with that anyway. So, honestly, it was kind of like a good thing because it came out and it gave the fans something new to listen to. And again, I think the stuff was very strong. So it was, you know, some good music out there for them to check out. And, you know, it was available for free downloads and everything. So it was great. And then, obviously, we have the new one out now, so it kind of bought us a little time. And now we're also going to have that EP available. You know, when we hit the road, we're actually releasing it ourselves, so we're going to have that on the road for this tour, which is going to be good. So I know a lot of people wanted the hard copy of that, so, you know, it'll be available when we're out there, so we're happy about that.
All right, I'm going to have to grab it when you guys come around to Philly, because I definitely would love to add the hard copy to my collection. All right, well... Like I said, I know my time's up. I'd like to thank you very much for calling, and again, I do apologize for the confusion at the very beginning.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks. We appreciate it, and I'm sure we'll see you in the Philly area. Thanks.
You have a good day.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks, man.